Let me stop this. So once you identify the solutions, you implement these solutions, and then you start getting the results. And that is the time, this is the final phase comes into picture, which is called control phase. Everybody just type control in the chat box. Control phase is the phase where you have to, whatever improvement you have achieved, you have to sustain it. Everybody just type control in the chat box, control. And the control phase is all about the sustenance. Okay. Let me remind you, a lot of content is still left. About 1:30 p.m. we have the examination. Remember that. Okay. To get the yellow belt certification completely for free, you need to attend the exam at 1:30, and we need to cover this entire content. Attend, the attendance is compulsory till end. Okay. Very, very important. Now, coming back to control phase. Control phase is all about sustenance. To sustain. Okay. So these are the strategies of the control phase. You remember y is equal to function of x, right? So the first strategy is monitoring plan for the output variable. Output variable is nothing but the y. Okay. Now, for example, output variable is, if let's say your project is attrition, so your output variable is attrition. If your project is downtime or average call handling time, whatever it is, that is called output variable. So you have to track it daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly. So you have to track this frequently to make sure that it is under control. Okay. Then the second one is called control plan, and this is for the input variable, for the x's. Okay. Now, similar to this, similar to output variable, you have to track it daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, etc. And along with this tracking, you have to put a very stringent controls as well. If anything, for example, let's say you have the hotel of tea making or tea stall, okay, and vendor by mistake has put, instead of Taj Mahal tea, has put a society tea. So that is not your regular, the tea brand. So your what you can say, your quality will be disturbed because of that. So you have to stop that consignment, return that, and you have to bring your original consignment. Okay, it is called a very stringent control in place. Then change SOP. SOP meaning standard operating procedure. Because we are changing the processes, we have to make the changes in the documented procedure. Then provide training to the people. Audit whether people are following it properly or not. Control charts, which is a very, very powerful statistical process control strategy. Statistical process control, SPC. Okay, which we are going to see a couple of control charts after this slide. Okay. Then management reviews. This is the final review which happens at the end of the control phase. And then project closure procedure. In the project closure procedure, we document this entire project. We horizontally deploy whatever has to be deployed in the organization, and we hand over the project to the process people. Okay. These are the control phase strategies. In the next slide, we will see the control charts. Okay. Control charts. Now, I'm going to show you some results of the live, real projects. Now, this is the control chart, guys. Look at this. This particular factory, which was generating lot of gross scrap, okay, scrap. Now, every dot is a representation of monthly scrap. Look at this. Sometimes it was going beyond 9%, guys. And look at the variation. Huge variation. So what we did, we started the project, and during project, you can see a stiff decline of the scrap. And after the project, you can see the variation reduction. Can you see here? Before variation and after variation. Can you see the difference, guys? Just type yes in the chat box. Before variation and after variation. A huge decline in the variation. Are you observing? If you remember, I mentioned in the Six Sigma is all about reduction of the variation. And less the variation, less the reduction. Less the rejection, right? So we are reducing the variation and we are reducing the rejection. Okay. This is a classic example of that. So from 9.5%, we bring it down